You want to learn more about VRChat features, hidden tricks that can help new players and veterans alike? Then never fear, PHIA is here to guide you through the menu, safety settings, camera options, and everything else you could possibly need for recording and playing the game to maximum enjoyment. I'm gonna divide this video up into timestamp sections. I'll start with the absolute basics and then work all the way up to features that I wish I knew when I began playing and streaming in VRChat. So if you're trying to figure out how VRChat works, or maybe you have a friend that you want to introduce to the game, well, show them this video because it'll help out big time in learning how the game works so they can not be confused as heck when they try to join you. I'm also adding a separate section for Quest users at the end, so if you're planning to join on Quest, you'll want to stick around at the end of this video since there are some major changes. So the first thing I want to talk about is worlds. There's different types of world instances. So if we open the Worlds tab and we pick out a world that we want to go to, like the Black Cat, a very popular one, well, we can see a bunch of different things on the menu. You can add it as a favorite, you can make it your home world that you spawn into, or you can make an instance of the world, of course. So we're going to do new instance, and then there's a few options that you can choose from. Down here, you have your region. You can pick US, EU, or Japan. Public worlds mean that literally anybody on this game can join the world. Friends means that only people who are friends with you can join. Friends Plus means just that your friends can invite their friends. Invite Plus means that people can't just automatically join the world. They have to be invited to the world. So even if someone has a social status that allows anybody to join them, they can't do so unless the person requests the invite. Invite only means literally only you can invite people. If you created the world, only that person can invite people. So let's say you want to do a Friends Plus world. We can go ahead and open that, and then you're going to see up here in the new instance, it says PHIA Bunny. Now you can either go ahead and join the world, or if you want your friends to be able to access it as well, you can drop a portal. Now this portal in front of you is going to make it so that anybody who walks into it will go into the world. So let's go ahead and check it out. Now you know how to create worlds, so let's figure out how we can add friends. So let's open up our social menu, and you're gonna see a few different options here. Right here is your friends list, your friends requests, and then also a list of anybody who is in the world instance that you are. So let's say your friend invited you to VRChat and they asked you to friend them. Well, you can come to search here, and if your friend's name is, I don't know, Poop, you can search for Poop here, and you can go ahead and friend them, and then they will get a friend request in the same social tab as before right here, and they can accept it. If you want to add somebody as a friend who's in the same room as you, you can do that by accessing the player menu. We are going to go over the player menu in depth, so skip to here if you want to see how to do that. Now your status dictates how people can access you. Blue status is join me, which means that anybody can join without sending a request. Now this only works in worlds that are accessible to you, so a public world, or if you're friends with somebody in a world. Green status is very similar. It shows the world that you're in to your friends, and if it's accessible to them, they can just join you. Now, orange is Ask Me, so it hides your location even if you're in a public world, but you see join requests still, so anybody on your friends list can request to join your world. Do Not Disturb doesn't let your friends request to join you. It also hides your location. This also means that if you want to join someone else, it also will not go through. If you want to do a custom status, you can type in whatever you want it to be and press OK, and then it'll show up to everybody right there. You can also edit your profile if you want. That's pretty cool too. Now, just to show you how requesting an invite actually works, I can pick one of my friends here, and you will see over on this side, I could either invite them to the world that I'm in right now, or I can request for them to send me an invite. Oh, and that's one of the requests right now. If I open my menu, I'm gonna see it right up here at the top. I can click on it and join their world. All your notifications will show up right here above the menu by your username, but you can also hit this notification bell to see anything you might have missed. Now let's go ahead to our avatars tab, and there's a lot of things that people don't even realize when they first start playing the game and don't learn until way later on. Obviously, things are pretty basic. I can switch into an avatar and change into it. I can favorite an avatar so that it shows up on my feed. But then down here, we're gonna see our avatar stats. And this is very, very important, especially if you try to join events. If you're someone who's getting invited to a VRChat club event, then most likely they have rules on avatar performance. What this basically means is that there's certain avatars that are super laggy because of all the stuff that people have added to them. There's also avatars that are super optimized. optimized and they run super fast and don't cause any issues for other players. So let's check out the avatar stats. As you can see, this little circle is red, which means this is a poor avatar. A lot of clubs will say no poor avatars allowed or very poor avatars, which is even worse. You can check all the specifics of the avatar, but unless you're into avatar creation already, it might be a little overwhelming, so just don't even worry about it and look at the colors. Now, for something like my low poly PHIA model, if I go to avatar stats, you can see that it is excellent. If it's green, it's all good to go and will run pretty well on most people's computers. Now, there's also another thing about avatars that works for optimization as well, so if you are laggy, you can always turn off something called dynamic bones. Dynamic bones is basically anything that moves in your VR avatar. For me, that's my hair right now, but someone might have a tail or a flowy skirt. It's all relative. Although it looks pretty cool, we're gonna turn it off by going to the safety settings and finding performance options. We're gonna go over all these safety settings in depth, but let's start up here. If you go here, you're going to see there is a dynamic bone tab. You can limit the dynamic bone usage and make it so that nobody's avatars have any moving parts, which can save your computer a lot of power. So if you click on that and OK, it will update. If your computer really doesn't handle laggy avatars very well, you can come to your avatar performance and block them. So if you want the minimum to be medium, perhaps, because your computer is maybe garbage or whatever, you can press OK, and then it'll block any avatars that have anything less than medium. Now, something very important that we need to talk about is safety settings. If you plan on going into events or public worlds, this is gonna save you a lot of lag and a lot of trouble. You can see here that we have different quote-unquote shield settings. So if you have nothing turned off, you can literally see every part of somebody's avatar, including hearing their voice and seeing their avatar. Normal safety settings turn off a lot of problematic things that can be found in crashing avatars. So some people will make an account just to mess with people, and usually those are going to be visitors or new user accounts. Turning off certain avatar features will greatly reduce the chance of getting crashed. Personally, I use the custom setting. For me, I never show visitors' avatars. I'm worried that a lot of those people might be crashers. I can turn them on myself at this timestamp when I go over the player menu. Now, I have avatar stuff turned on for most other people typically, but if you are going to a club event and you want to reduce the lag on your computer, you might want to have avatars only turned on for friends. On trusted user, known user, user, and new user, you might just want to turn off avatars completely, and then when you're talking to someone and want to see their avatar, you can just turn them on individually. That way you're not getting lagged by having 80 people in the same room. Now, we gotta talk about VRChat Plus. Let's go into our menu here, and you're gonna see VRC Plus up here, the little yellow icon. And on this screen, you're gonna see everything that comes with it. It is $10 a month or $100 a year. You get to add icons to your account along with your username. You get 100 favorited avatars, and then a couple other things that are really cool. You might not get a whole lot for VRChat Plus, but VRChat is a free game, so if you find yourself playing it a lot, it's a great way to support the development so that they can improve things. So let's go to settings. I'm just going to go over the basic stuff you might want to know. First off is personal space. When you have personal space turned on, it means somebody's avatar disappears when they get too close to you. If you have holoport turned on, that means you're going to be doing teleportation walking. Just like this. You're gonna see your avatar in this weird third-person mode. So if you prefer to have just the plain walking around feature, then we can go to our settings and turn off the holoport. You can manage all your audio volume here, so in this world, since I don't want to have music in the background while I'm talking, I just turned that all the way down to 0. There's a lot to go through, so make sure you take some time to experiment for yourself. But there's one thing you need to know. If you go to your advanced settings, you're gonna see all the downloaded content on your computer. If you have a ton of worlds downloaded, it's gonna take up so much space on your computer, and when it gets really high, it always lags me to hell. So you can just clear your downloaded content cache, and that will delete it all. You'll have to re-download worlds next time you go into them, but it'll clear all this off next time you open the game and keep your computer nice and clean. Now, I know a lot of you people want to learn how to stream VRChat or record it so that you can make videos like I am right now. So let's open up the camera. I'm going to go to camera here, and there's a few different options. When you're doing first-person mode like I am, you want to make sure you have steady cam view on. It's going to smooth out that motion and not be so shocking for the people watching. The photo camera obviously takes photos, but the stream camera is what you use to send the camera footage to your computer so that you can record it. The buttons are the same on both cameras, so I'm just going to go through the photo camera to show you what everything is. Hello, I can see myself now, isn't that lovely? So let's go through everything on here. Starting with the upper right, you have cycle movement space. So right now, the camera just sits wherever I put it and stays there. But now if I set my camera down and go ahead and do the next option, it's gonna make it so that when I move around, my camera stays in that exact same spot and follows me. Now what I use a lot of the time when I'm filming videos is this last global option, where no matter where I move, the camera stays in the exact same spot. And you can see that here is the camera lens, and then you can carry this part around with you to always see at any given time what's on the screen. Now, movement behavior is just following you normally, just wherever it is pointing to. The next movement just smooths everything out. So kind of like how I showed you the Steadicam a little while ago, that does something similar. And finally, you have the eyes so that wherever your head is, the camera will follow. With pins, you can set up different camera positions and settings for each one so that you can switch between them. You can add some cool filters, so for me, I like to do the alphas when I'm taking pictures for thumbnails. I can do it this way so that I have no background and it just puts a nice little PNG on the screen for me. This little lock sign means that I can't grab my camera anymore. It does not move around with me. Normally I can grab it, but now it is completely stale, so to turn that off, I'll unlock it now. And then of course we have our timer, so if I want to take a cute selfie with all my friends, and now I have a photo that's going to be on my computer. If you go into wherever your photos are saved, there should automatically be a VRChat folder if you're using the Steam version. Now let's talk about the player menu. If you open up your menu like normal, point at somebody in the room, this bubble is gonna appear around them. I can click on it, and then you have some different options here. I can of course send them a friend request. I can mute them if they are being annoying or creepy, and you can block them to remove them completely. If somebody's avatar is lagging you, you can just hide it, and then it's gonna go away and you can't see it anymore. It's gonna be a robot. If you click on show avatar, it'll bring it right back. You can change their volume here and of course show their avatar stats to see what their performance is. If you open your menu while you're standing in front of someone, you can see if they're a quest user, what rank they are, and their avatar performance along as their status. You can see this person here has a very poor avatar and they're on a quest, and I don't even know what these people are doing, but I'm just not going to worry about it. That person's a known user. That's surprising. This person's a regular user. There's lots to see and do in these worlds, especially Black Cat. I don't recommend going here on your first time in the game, but that's besides the point. Now let's talk about Quest users. If you're using a Quest and you aren't connected to your PC, then there's limited things of what you're able to do in the game. So if we open the menu and come to Worlds, we can check whether or not the world can actually be loaded in your Quest version of the game by taking a look and seeing these little circles up here. If it is blue, it means it only runs in PC. If it is green, it means it only runs on Quest. But if it has both, then that means that any version of VRChat works. Now in avatars, it works exactly the same way. As you can see, I have a version of my retro PHIA model that is PC only with specific shaders and all that fancy stuff I'm not going to get into. And then I have a more optimized version of my model that I made just for Quest. If you're on PC and you're using a PC only avatar, it will show up as a robot to Quest users. So if you want, you can choose a backup model so that you aren't just a robot to people and you at least have some kind of personality. Once you play the game for a little bit, I know that you're probably thinking, how do I upload my own avatar? So basically, VRChat uses a software called Unity. You can use this program to create avatars and create worlds, and then you download an SDK where you can actually upload that content to VR. I have a bunch of tutorials on how you can make your own avatar for cheap, easy, and free, so make sure you check those out if you're interested. But keep in mind that you do have to play the game for a certain amount of time before you can even upload content at all. When you're still visitor rank, you can't upload content. And another thing you need to know is you have to be using a VRChat account. You can't be using a Steam account. To know whether or not you're using a Steam or VRChat account, you can check by going into your social tab and come up here. So let's search for something basic like poop again. And you're going to see, aha, here is a Steam user. And if you want to know how I can tell, is that they have these 4 characters after their name. Steam automatically just assigns you some random characters, and everybody can tell that you're using a Steam account. So if you want your name to just be regular and you can upload content to VRChat, then make sure you go to the website, create a VRChat account, and then link your 2 accounts so that everything transfers over. Look, VRChat can be a little overwhelming. If you only go to public worlds, you're probably gonna hear people screaming the N-word or kids screaming, but I promise you that there is so much more to the game than that. It's an entire living, breathing culture. If you want to get more connected in events and things that go on, well, here are some accounts that I recommend following on Twitter. I hope this video was helpful to you. There's still some specific things that I didn't go into, but I tried to cover everything that I wish people just could have told me when I first started playing. Make sure you like this video so that you can show it to your friends later when they try to join VRChat, and subscribe to the PHIA channel because I make stuff on VRChat all the time. Anyways, thanks so much for watching. I've been your host, PHIA, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye! Special thanks to this month's Patreon members and virtual VIPs, Dudetech, Klukale, Mr. Cheerio, Scoremaller,